Did you know that 1 out of every 3 illegal drugs on the streets of the United States comes from a powerful cartel south of the border? That cartel is run by a shadowy figure named El Mencho, leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. El Mencho isn't the only big name in the Mexican drug trade. His main rival is El Mayo, head of the infamous Sinaloa cartel. These two kingpins are locked in a bitter struggle for control, and the violence spills far beyond Mexico's borders. Would you like to know more details? Let's begin the chilling stories of the most violent kingpins in the world. El Mencho, the ruthless rise. Born into poverty in Mexico on July 17, 1966 or 1964, El Mencho had 5 brothers: Juan, Miguel, Antonio, Marin, and Abraham. He dropped out of school in 5th grade to work in the fields. At 14, he started guarding marijuana plantations. A few years later, seeking a better life, he illegally moved to California in the 1980s. After being arrested several times, he was deported to Mexico in the early 1990s. El Mencho wasn't always the big boss. He started by working for another powerful cartel called the Milenio Cartel. Some believe he grew frustrated with their leadership or worried about rivals targeting him within the cartel. Whatever the reason, in the late 2000s, El Mencho decided to go his own way. He gathered some loyal followers and formed a new cartel, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG for short. The CJNG grew fast, and there's a dark reason for that. El Mencho isn't afraid to get violent. His cartel is known for brutal attacks on rivals, using intimidation and fear to control areas. They've even clashed with Mexican police and military forces in bloody shootouts. This ruthlessness helped the CJNG muscle in on drug trafficking routes and take over territory from other cartels. In just a few years, they became a major player in the drug trade, moving drugs not just in Mexico but also to other countries, including the United States. El Mencho is like a ghost. Unlike some other cartel leaders who love to show off their wealth, El Mencho stays hidden. He rarely appears in public, and there are very few pictures of him. This secrecy makes him even more dangerous. The Mexican government wants him captured so badly, they've offered a huge reward, millions of dollars, for any information leading to his arrest. But so far, El Mencho has managed to stay out of sight, protected by his loyal men and the fear he's instilled. As the leader of the CJNG, El Mencho expanded his organization's territory and gained power by bribing government officials. Under his leadership, the CJNG grew from a small gang into one of Mexico's leading criminal groups. El Mencho became one of Mexico's most wanted criminals due to the CJNG's aggressive public violence and direct attacks on Mexico's security forces, earning him a reputation as the state's principal enemy and a dangerous criminal. The downfall of Mexico's former top crime bosses also helped El Mencho rise to power. El Mencho strengthened his operations in Jalisco and nearby states by fighting off other criminal groups like Los Zetas and the Knights Templar cartel. Government sources say he oversees the CJNG's drug trafficking operations in Jalisco, Colima, and Guanajuato, making these areas key for methamphetamine production and trade. The CJNG's influence is strongest in Jalisco, Colima, Guanajuato, Nayarit, and Veracruz, while they also operate in Morelos, Guerrero, and Michoacán, where they fight rival drug groups. Between 2014 and 2016, Mexico City was the only place where the CJNG lost its presence. Internationally, the CJNG has connections with criminal groups in the US, Latin America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, mainly focusing on trafficking cocaine and methamphetamine. El Mencho made the CJNG one of Mexico's most profitable criminal gangs, with the government estimating the group's total assets at around $50 billion. His success was shared with his brother-in-law, Abigail Gonzalez Valencia, who led an allied drug trafficking group known as Los Quines. Abigail was arrested by the Mexican Navy in 2015. Part of El Mencho's success came from his ability to adapt to market and consumer changes. Initially, the CJNG produced methamphetamine, but later switched to heroin production to meet changing consumer demand. In 2019, Kyle Morey, the head of the DEA team hunting El Mencho, stated that he believed El Mencho's net worth was at least $500 million, possibly over $1 billion. El Mencho has been avoiding capture for years, despite a large bounty on his head. Known as the most wanted man on Earth, the 57-year-old is still at large in Mexico. The Mexican government is offering 30 million pesos for information leading to his arrest, and the US is offering $10 million. El Mayo, the cunning old guard, Ismael Mario Zambada. Garcia, born on January 1, 1948, is a Mexican drug lord and the current top leader of the Sinaloa Cartel, an international crime syndicate based in Sinaloa. Before becoming the leader, he was the logistical coordinator for the Guzman Zambada organization, which managed the trafficking of cocaine and heroin into Chicago and other U.S. cities using aircraft, narco subs, container ships, go-fast boats, fishing vessels, buses, rail cars, tractor-trailers, and automobiles. As of 2024, he has never been arrested or incarcerated and is the last remaining fugitive on the list of Mexico's 37 most wanted drug lords. The Sinaloa Cartel's legacy. Long before El Mencho rose to power, the Sinaloa Cartel ruled the Mexican drug trade. Led by the infamous El Chapo, they were known for their vast network and smuggling operations. However, El Chapo's capture in 2016 left a power vacuum. Enter El Mayo, Ismael Zambada Garcia. While not as flashy as El Chapo, El Mayo is a seasoned operator. He is believed to be either the sole leader or co-leader of the Sinaloa Cartel now. Unlike El Mencho, El Mayo isn't known for violence. Instead, he's respected for his strategic thinking and ability to build alliances with other cartels. He operates more like a businessman behind the scenes, keeping a low profile. El Mencho and El Mayo are like night and day. El Mencho uses brute force and intimidation to control territory and eliminate rivals. El Mayo, on the other hand, is the cunning strategist. He focuses on building partnerships, negotiation, and staying hidden. While both are powerful figures, their leadership styles are very different. The cartels at war, CJNG versus Sinaloa. The CJNG is considered by the Mexican government to be one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in Mexico and the second most powerful drug cartel after the Sinaloa cartel. CJNG is heavily militarized and more violent than other criminal organizations. It has a special operations group for specific types of warfare. Its hitman training program is strict and professional. The cartel is best known for its fights against the Zetas and Templarios. It has also fought La Resistencia for control of Aguililla, Michoacán, and its surrounding territories. The war between cartels has unleashed a wave of violence in Mexico. Cities once known for their beauty are now plagued by shootings and kidnappings. Innocent bystanders, including children, often get caught in the crossfire. This violence not only destroys lives, but also discourages tourism and investment, hindering Mexico's development. Despite police efforts to stop them, the biggest issue is that officers often take bribes, allowing the cartels to become stronger and stronger. Not only in Mexico, but also in the US and other countries, are facing many difficulties because of them. In today's video, we cover everything you need to know about these two main mafia bosses and cartels. What do you think about today's video? Give us a like and subscribe for more content. Until we come up with another video, stay safe.